Hi, my name is Sam Hicks. I'm the operations manager for Sapphiros UK. I cover a pretty wide breadth of roles here, including facilities, health and safety, a little bit of purchasing, IT, equipment maintenance, basically everything that keeps the place up and running. That's my job. When I first joined Sapphiros UK, we didn't have anything like Amici. We didn't have a purchasing platform. We were using what many biotechs in the area use, which is the dreaded Excel sheet. This meant the process was very manual. We had multiple people accessing the sheet at the same time. Orders were getting mixed up. It was very difficult to manage holistically. It meant as well that the end users, they had to go to suppliers themselves, maybe websites or from lists that they had, find the exact product code. These would often get mixed up. They would have to put in the exact name of the product they wanted as well. It was overall a very manual process, which meant it took a lot of time for a lot of people. My first experience of MyAmici was when I first started working in Cambridge, a biotechnology company previous to when I first started at Sapphiros. I wasn't really aware of the platform at the time. I hadn't had any experience of it. I'd never even heard of MyAmici. So using it to begin with, it took me a little while to get my head around it and realize what this was. I came from a company where they had a whole purchasing department and had people doing the job of MyAmici. But as soon as I picked it up, which didn't take too long because it is a very user-friendly, very easy platform, I realized the benefits of such a platform, and especially for small companies. So when I then started working at Sapphiros UK and we had that dreaded Excel sheet, it was a no-brainer that I needed to get MyAmici in and I needed to get it in ASAP. One of the challenges of implementing MyAmici at Sapphiros UK was that the senior leadership team hadn't heard of it. So much like me back in 2018, they weren't aware that this platform existed. So I talked them through the benefits that I've had at previous companies, because Sapphiros UK is actually the third company I've used MyAmici at now. And they didn't take much persuading, let me say, because the comparison between what it can do compared to what we were doing, it's so easy to see that the time and the cost savings that the business would then benefit from were huge. So the whole process didn't take that long. It was a case of me just putting a presentation together. This is what it is. This is what it can do for us. Why haven't we been doing this? And they were like, go for it. Do it straight away, Sam. We need it. As soon as I had that go ahead from the senior leadership team to implement it, I reached out to my good friend Chris from MyAmici, who I'd met previously back in 2018. He replied straight away. The same conversation we had had, and he has such a fantastic team. So we just went through the process, obviously went through the costs and schedule and everything like that. I'd already had sign off for it, so everything was pretty much straightforward. We got handed over to the implementation team pretty much immediately. And then we just started going through our many lists of products and suppliers that Sapphiros UK had been using for the team to start to upload onto the platform. That took, I think it was only a matter of a couple of weeks or maybe even less. Once my senior leadership team heard about it, they wanted it in straight away. And I reached out to Chris and I said, as with everything here, we want it done tomorrow. He was absolutely no problem, got the team on it. And it was only a matter of weeks before we had that turnaround. The platform was up and running. We had training for staff. The beauty of the MyAmici platform is that everything's there that you need in the help center. There's so many documents and videos anyway, other than the fact that the platform is incredibly user-friendly and very easy to work out. So if you've ever done any online shopping, you can use MyAmici pretty much. There's all the addition of modules and other elements to it that some users needed a little bit of help with. But the entire implementation process it went by in a flash, and we managed to get rid of that awful, dreaded Excel sheet very quickly, get the platform up and running, and start benefiting from not just the time savings, obviously, but also the huge cost savings of the purchasing power that MyAmici has that we just had no access to in the past. So the process was incredibly quick, incredibly easy, fantastic team, always happy to help, always very responsive. We were up and running in no time and we were very happy with it. This process as well is not my first implementation of MyAmici. I have been through that before in the past, a few years previous. And I cannot fault it, basically. It's so easy to do. It's so quick. As long as you have a good list of your preferred suppliers and your products and everything that you need, the team take it off your hands. They do all the background work and they get you up and running in next to no time. At the point in time in Sapphiros UK, we are just progressing through to V&V into clinical builds. So we need a good, solid inventory management system. This is something that we implemented from MyAmici just over a year ago now. And then again, that is very heavily used on a day-to-day basis. And that has all of our critical parts stored on it so that we can completely, fully manage the entire process of that inventory side of things. Another aspect that I use personally very heavily and also gets used quite a lot throughout the company is the new request, the sourcing side of MyAmici. Sapphiros UK is quite unique in that we're not just an R&D company. We're an R&D company and it's mixed with production manufacturing and also has an engineering department. So we often have some very weird and wonderful requests for the sourcing team, and we definitely put them to work. Every year, I go through with the MyAmici team the previous year. They go through our stats. They tell us how much we spent on the platform. But more importantly, for me and also for my senior leadership team, is that they provide us with some figures on how much time and money we have saved. In 2024 alone, we saved an average of £17,000 a month. And also across the year, we save 34 days time in order management, which is just basically managing our POs. But that sourcing element that I mentioned, that was 55 days worth of working time that we saved as a company for having MyAmici manage our sourcing for all those weird and wonderful items. It's an entire person, his entire salary, pretty much. I'm looking forward to, in January, having that discussion with MyAmici again, because 2025 has been even crazier for Sapphiros UK. And I just know those figures are going to be even higher. And it's something, particularly for an R&D company, you very rarely get to celebrate saving money. You burn through cash at a rate of knots. So for me to be able to present that to my team on the senior leadership team and say an average of £70,000 a month savings is just incredible. And it's one of us a few wins on that side of things. I highly recommend MyAmici. There's no other platform like it in the world. And there's certainly nothing that can save time and money for biotech companies like my own that Amici can do. If I was asked why I keep coming back to MyAmici, it's purely because there is no other platform like it in the world. It saves so much time and money for companies like my own that it's a no-brainer. You have to go for MyAmici. There's lots of ERPs out there that people use. There's no ERP that's linked to a purchasing platform. So to be able to have an inventory that you manage and then it tells you your stock's out and you literally just go order and buy more, any other ERP or inventory management, you'd have to then come out, go into a purchasing platform. So it's a separate kind of thing. There's nothing like that. That's a big MyAmici win.